Hello everyone and welcome back to the Slow Community YouTube channel. My name's Lynne Rankin. I like making spreadsheets, and today I have a spreadsheet to solve a problem that I was encountering when managing structures for Slow. Now, while I don't directly manage the day-to-day of the structures, I heard from our fueling team break out pen and paper. And I knew I could make it a better way for them to not only track the structures and what service modules are attached to each structure, also determine how much fuel blocks each structure is going to need, aggregate that all into how many fuel blocks we need per month, and then come up with a compare and contrast of what it would take to buy the fuel blocks outright versus build the fuel blocks. So the spreadsheet has been incredibly successful for Slow for the last 7 months. So what I decided to do was tweak around the spreadsheet just a little bit, get rid of any OPSEC information, obviously, and then share a blank template with you all that you can use to manage your structures, your service modules, and also your fuel needs. So that way you can manage all your structures without having to have any headaches or trying to figure out how to build your own spreadsheet. So we have this ready-made for you right here, and I'm going to walk you through how to use this. Now, if you're interested in this spreadsheet, you can find a link in the description down below this video, and you can go, once you open it, you can go to File and make a copy of it by going to File and make a copy. And then it's yours to customize. So let's go ahead and get started on how to set up a structure and fuel planner. So we're going to go ahead and see that we have a couple columns here. We have system name, structure type, the service modules that are available depending on the structure type we select, and then the number of service slots that are available, all the way up to 7 if you are planning a Satoyo or a Keepstar, for example. And then further up top, we can see some different pieces of information here. We can see our weekly fuel block need, our monthly fuel block need, our annual fuel block need, and then you can enter here the current price for the fuel block of choice that you are looking at. Right now, we're looking at oxygen fuel blocks, which are currently sitting at a 18,450 ISK buy order. In addition, depending on how many structures and service modules we add in here, we have monthly fuel buy cost, how much it's going to cost us in ISK, depending on how many fuel blocks we need for all of our structures, and then how much the fuel cost is going to be if we build it ourselves. And then we can see here, how many structures do we have active? Just how many structures do we have on this spreadsheet that, if we're managing it correctly, should be the same number. So we're going to go ahead and get started on configuring this spreadsheet. So we're going to set up a couple system names such as Ziona, and I'm going to have an Astra house called Alpha. I'm going to name the structure Alpha. I'm going to select the Astra house. It's going to tell me there's 3 service slots available for this type of structure, and it's going to highlight the number of service slots that I should select. Now, yes, while I can technically add in 7 service slots on the spreadsheet, really what the system is reminding you here is that in reality, you should only use these 3. So keep in mind, if you are messing around with the filters, and if you had a Keepstar in here and you configured it with all 7 slots, and then you change this to an Astra later, you're going to have to keep in mind to remove those excess modules. So we're just going to put a simple cloning center here on this structure. Next, we're going to go ahead and add another structure in Bashakuru. We're going to name this one Beta, and we're going to put down a Fortizar here. So we can see that we have a lot more service slots available here. We're going to put down a cloning center and a market hub. In that same system, we're going to have Charlie. We're going to have a refining Athanor. So I'm going to set up a reprocessing Athenor. So we can see here that with all these structures together, with the service modules selected, with the bonuses applied, by the way, we can see that our monthly fuel block need is 38,160 blocks, or 704 million ISK if we were to buy straight from the market at this price. However, we can see that we can save a little ISK if we go with building it ourselves, even buying all the materials, by just buying the materials and then putting them together. We can save ourselves roughly 35 million ISK per month, which over the long run might be significant. Also depending on how cheaply you can acquire the source materials. So if we take a look at our next sheet here, which is the fuel block sheet, we can see we have a bunch of different options here for configuring making your own fuel blocks. So we can see that we have customizable refine yield, material efficiency, and time efficiency. We can see how many runs we're going to need to make in order to meet this quantity of fuel blocks. We can see all the input materials as well as a JITA price that we can manually input. And then we have all the output materials from all of this that will then get used to calculate how much of each material we need in order to manufacture our fuel blocks. Now, one thing that this does specifically is instead of figuring out how much heavy water, liquid ozone, strontium, and oxygen isotopes you need, it goes through a special calculation aggregating both dark glitter and thick blue ice. This can be configured if you go to Fuzzworks and change some of the base formulas. What this does is it reads the cumulative material, because thick blue ice, for example, also produces heavy water, liquid ozone, and strontium, in addition to dark glitter in this example. So it takes those numbers and then figures out a min-max of how many fuel blocks you need for dark glitter and thick blue ice. So then what happens is it figures out how much of these materials you actually need, how much gets refined based off of this calculation here, down here, and then how much you have in excess. Now, what we can do is we can play with these numbers right here to min-max this as much as we want. So, for example, if we're using compressed dark glitter in this example, but we want to get more strontium, we can change this number from a min-max of 3.391 to a 5. And we'll end up getting a lot of extra heavy water, liquid ozone, and strontium, but we'll meet our goal of min-maxing and gaining more strontium. So we have these options here available to you. So that way you can min-max your resource gathering. So then it all gets plugged in to these values here. Again, telling you how many fuel blocks is going to be the output, how many days it's going to take to build, how much M3 all of this input material is going to take, what the job gross price is going to be. Again, this is based off of null sec calculation, so you will need to adjust this. Same with taxes. Comes up with the job manufacturing total cost, which is the build cost here. And then total cost to manufacture is 666 million ISK. So we can see here that it is going to cost us 40 million ISK less to produce our own fuel blocks for these structures. One thing to note about this spreadsheet is it only covers the monthly cost of running an established structure and established service modules. It does not calculate the initial startup fuel block need. So I hope you enjoyed this little setup tutorial on how to use our structure and fuel planner. If you want to come back to this video, you can find it with our spreadsheet playlist linked inside the spreadsheet itself, and you can visit our other spreadsheets that we develop and release here for free. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.